We've got John, as you know, John Powell, who is ex-East Sussex Youth Orchestra player. So John, obviously, we know very well, famed for many fantastic films, Shrek, Ant, Happy Feet, Bourne films, How to Train Your Dragon, which was Academy Award nominated for John, Star Wars story, Solo, but also brilliant concert repertoire, Prussian Requiem, choral works, operas, and just a fully brilliantly rounded and influential composer. This was the brief: to write a musical portrait of someone you know really well, a family member, friend, pet, or even much disliked teacher, ? A short piece that will tell people something about that person, only through music. Are they happy, angry, chatty, sad, always busy, constantly noisy? Music that can portray them as clearly as possible to other people, maybe doing something that amuses you or annoys you. Music that expresses your feelings about how their character or habits, but making sure it is evocative of how you see him. Jacy D'Souza.
I'm gonna mute my thing. I read your sort of précis of what it's about, and I'm a little frightened if I ever have to visit your aunts. Um, I think it's an incredible job. I mean, clearly, so were you using Note Performer? Is that how that was being played?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. It's a wonderful tool to have, but clearly you have quite an extraordinary ear and an extraordinary sort of ability and technique. What would you ask me though now to help?
I think it's just how I even get on the path that will take me to that, to where you are, to where we have all these greats. We have John Williams, we have Hans Zimmer, all of these people who like I look up to, who I draw inspiration from. And I think it's just what I would ask you is how do you get there, and what are the steps involved with getting there?
Well, I think the biggest tool you're going to have is the music you're hearing and you're loving and you're sort of absorbing now, and then you clearly have an ability to be able to, at least with the orchestra, be able to form very, very fine kind of constructions that sound, very, very good. So that's step one, which is you've got a lot of that thing. Then the two other things that you're going to have to sort of work on are obviously, and I try and separate this, which is learning about storytelling. When you're working with people who are constructing storytelling, you have to understand it as well as they do. So I'd say the next part of it is become a storyteller. So then when you come to film, you have the third part, which is working with other people. And being a composer for film requires you to take your ego, shut it up in a small box, put that box in another box, tie a large weight to that, take it out to the middle of the ocean, and drown it as 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 early as you can in the process. That will be, what you can learn in the next few years, because you really don't have to worry too much about your orchestration skills. Very good, and look forward to hearing some more of your music. So.
Move on to Loretta.
what's the story behind this?
Well, it's about my granny, and she's quite a, I don't know, humorous person, I guess. She looks at the details and everything, and she finds the, I guess, the humour and everything. And I thought she'd be a good person to use for this.
I mean, I think you very well got, I think, us all to understand musically really what was going on. It was charming. It was confident. There's a lot about the piece is very, very good. My only comment would be all of those instruments have a lot more technique, perhaps, that you could have sort of searched out a little bit more. It didn't have much shape. And I think that would be the thing I'd say is search in those instruments for more unusual techniques to try and find a place to. And this is where storytelling is useful to think about even at this age, because the best pieces of music that I know seem to have a story. And what I mean by a story is something that I can't actually even sort of describe. I can't describe the story, particularly in Symphony Number 5 by Sibelius. But all I know is that I studied that with Colin Metters and the orchestra, the East Sussex Youth Orchestra. This is why I'm doing this. Is, you know, the East Sussex was where I was given the gift of people showing me the inside of what great symphonic, in this case, symphonic music could say, and it was a description that could not be said with words. Obviously, that's the point. But there was a great storytelling in there because there was the shape of our lives seemed to be represented, the troubles, the problems. Now, pottering in the garden, you perfectly summed that up, but you probably got that very quickly. So then a lot of the rest of the piece was quite sort of, the same image. It became a little tense in the middle, but that would be the question, is that if you were to imagine your grandmother in the garden, but then aliens arrive and she has to pull, out an axe, and she has a very violent fight with them, and fortunately they're made of jelly, and she can smash them up and use a hose on them, and then everything calms down again. I mean, take everything a little bit more extreme, perhaps. That makes the whole expression of the piece a little bit more fulfilling, I think. It's a wonderful piece, and you kind of nailed it. But that would be my only comment. Is like, can you use those instruments in a more unusual way to create some more colors that tell a sort of a more lively, not lively, but a more modulated story. That would be the only thing I'd say. But very, very good, very good.